So what I'm going to do for you is this. I'm going to explain what kettlebells are. I'm then going to let you know where they originate from. And then I'll give you the 7 benefits as to why you should be training with kettlebells. Hopefully by the end of the video, I would have encouraged you next time you go to the gym to actually pick up a kettlebell and use it. If I do that, that is job done. The simplest way to describe a kettlebell, it is basically a cannonball with a handle. I've actually got one here right now in front of me, so I'll just quickly show you that so you can see it yourself. So here's the ball, this bit here, and here's the handle, and obviously this is where you will hold it. So for the nerds out there, the kettlebell actually originates from Russia. It was brought over to the West, or should I say introduced to the West, in 1998 by a Russian guy called Pavel Tatsulin. So now that you know what kettlebells are and where they originate from, let's get on to the first benefit of using kettlebells. With kettlebells, you do not need much space. You can train within the space of a yoga mat, and you can get a full body workout and even a cardio session within that space. This is highly beneficial for people with busy lifestyles. If you're on the go all the time, you can bring a kettlebell with you. You can use a kettlebell in a hotel room. You can use a kettlebell on the beach. You can use a kettlebell on a balcony. A kettlebell can be used practically anywhere. And this is a huge benefit with regards to kettlebells. Imagine bringing a barbell with you everywhere you go. It just wouldn't be feasible. So the bottom line is this: kettlebells are extremely portable. If you've got a car, you can take them with you. They're also very compact. It will not take much room up wherever you live, so storage is not an issue. And even price. The last time I checked on Amazon, you could pick up a Bowflex adjustable kettlebell for $150 US. That is not a lot of money. Benefit number 2 is power development. Kettlebells allow you to develop a tremendous amount of power. Yes, you can develop power with barbells, but like I said earlier, the problem is with barbells is the size of them. They're not very portable, and also storage can be an issue. Kettlebells, you could literally develop power on a beach. So the thing is with kettlebells as well is you can also do practically every exercise with a kettlebell that you can do with a barbell, plus more. Let's take, for example, the kettlebell swing. This is probably one of the most well-known movements in the kettlebell world. It develops a tremendous amount of power. It develops the whole posterior chain, which is the backside of your body. Another added benefit of power exercises is that not only do they build muscle, but they also work your cardiovascular system as well. When you do snatches, when you do pulls, when you do swings, your heart is going to be coming out of your chest. If you're someone that doesn't really like doing cardio and it bores you, I'm one of those people, using a kettlebell will be highly beneficial. One of the mistakes I made in my early training career was neglecting cardio, and there were 2 reasons why. Number 1 is I didn't really enjoy it. I found it kind of boring. And number 2, I always thought to myself, well, it doesn't really do that much in terms of physique development. Here's the thing with cardio, and here's why it is super important. 1, it is very good for your heart. And number 2, it is actually very good for the health of your brain as well. When people think of traditional cardio exercises, they tend to think of running. And here's the thing with running. It is high stress, high impact on your joints. You tend to find with people that run a lot, they tend to have issues with their hips, knees and ankles. And this is where kettlebells come in. If you do kettlebell swings, you are static. You're not moving anywhere. You're in the same position. You're not pounding the pavement like you would with running. It is much better for your joints. So the bottom line is this. When it comes to health optimization, you cannot neglect cardio. Don't make the mistake that I made. Kettlebell swings, snatches, these kind of exercises are very good because you are not pounding your joints. You are static, you are in the same position, yet your heart will be coming out of your chest. So can you build strength with kettlebells? Yes, you can. Every exercise you can do with a barbell, you can do with a kettlebell. So squats, you can do squats with a kettlebell. Deadlifts, you can do deadlifts with a kettlebell. Overhead presses, you can do overhead presses with a kettlebell. Rows, you can do rows with a kettlebell. The same cannot be said for a barbell though. Try doing a swing with a barbell. It's just not going to happen. I want to make the point here, and that is that yes, barbells are better from a strength development perspective, and that the reason why is because you can generally load it more. But kettlebells offer you the versatility in terms of you can do all the exercises that you can do with a barbell with a kettlebell, and also you've got the flexibility of training wherever you want. With barbells, it is a pain in the ass bringing it with you everywhere you go. This is seriously one of the most underrated benefits of training with kettlebells. Practically every single exercise that you do will have you working your grip. Grip strength is linked to health and longevity. Just to put things into perspective, I've got a 16 kilogram kettlebell which I'm going to show you now. Look at the size of that handle. Just put it this way, right? If you go to the gym and you're swinging around something like that for 25, 30 minutes, even 45 minutes, your hand strength and your grip is going to develop. What makes kettlebells really unique is the weight distribution. Here I've got a dumbbell. This is a 5 kilogram dumbbell, and look at it. The weight is evenly distributed on each side. Now let's compare that to a kettlebell. So I'm going to hold this kettlebell like this, yeah? Look where all the weight is. All the weight is here. It is unevenly distributed. So when you start doing exercises with it, you are going to get a different training stimulus. And that's it. Because of the way kettlebells are designed, practically every single exercise you do is going to work your grip. Just take this for example, right? I'm not even doing an exercise. I'm just holding this position. So I've got this kettlebell here like this, yeah? To hold this position, my hands and my forearms are working overtime. It might actually look easy, but it's a lot more difficult than it actually looks. Right, just to give you a bit of background information, for the majority of my lifting career, I've trained using exclusively barbells. I love barbells. Barbells is what's given me my strength. But here's the problem with training with barbells that I've encountered. I've got injured a lot and my body just generally felt stiff. One of the things I noticed when I started training with kettlebells is how well my body felt. I just moved better. I didn't feel as tight. I felt loose. And a big part of this is the mobility aspect of it. For example, take a kettlebell windmill. You are not just strengthening and stabilizing your muscles, you're actually stretching it as well. I'm not someone that particularly enjoys stretching. So if I can do a strength exercise and stretch at the same time, that is a win-win for me. That is hitting two birds with one stone. Now let's talk about coordination. A lot of kettlebell exercises, there's an actual learning curve to it. It's not as simple as just picking up a dumbbell and doing a load of bicep curls. There's actually steps that you need to follow. Let's just take the Turkish get-up, for example. That is not a simple exercise. If you've ever seen someone do a Turkish get-up, there is a lot going on. So let's clarify some of the points that I've made in the video. It's going to build explosive power. Kettlebells can build strength. It's going to improve your cardio, and it's going to improve mobility and make you more coordinated. That to me sounds like an athlete. So let's get this straight. MMA fighters are keen advocates of kettlebell training. Special forces around the world in the military are using kettlebells. Again, no surprise. Yet, I go to a gym and I'm not seeing anybody use them. This absolutely baffles my mind.